Okay, hello. I just woke up from my afternoon nap and I want to yap about something again. Like my mouth is itching. So, babes, listen, okay? Listen. Do you know what I will never understand? Like, honestly, there are a lot of people who go out their way to watch content that is not even meant for them. Like, babes, you already know that you don't like me, and you know my energy is that it's not for you. You know you're going to get pressed, triggered, annoyed, whatever, and yet here you are, still watching, still listening, still leaving your little bitter comments like you're doing something groundbreaking. You know, it's giving obsessed. It's giving jobless. It's giving fan behavior with denial issues. Yeah. Like, I'm going to be real with you. You don't accidentally watch my videos. You click, you press play, you stay long enough to get mad, and then you stay longer just to type out your little essay in the comments. So tell me, who's really wasting whose time? Because at the end of the day, your views, it still feeds me, okay? Your hate, it still boosts me. You think you're shading me, but you're literally paying rent on my platform with your attention. And that's why I cannot even take most hate seriously. But jokes aside, I will never ever be, phased by y'all haters. Y'all don't have idea on like who I am. Y'all even don't know me. You don't even realize you're my unpaid marketing team. That's it. That's the tea. But you know what? It's deeper than that. Because this is not just about me. This is about how people love to consume shit that was never meant for them, and and then they get mad when it does not align with their fragile little worldview. Okay, like it's like walking into a sushi restaurant when you hate fish and then complaining about the menu. Like, babes, no one forced you to be here. You chose to be here. You ordered chaos and now you're mad that it tastes like chaos? Babes, that's your fault, okay? And you know what's the wild part is that they will say, I don't like you, while watching every single video of yours, while keeping up with every post, while memorizing things about you that your fans even don't know, like that even your fans do not notice. Like, girl, you don't dislike me. You're obsessed, okay? You're obsessed. You are addicted to me. I live in your head rent free, and you pay the utilities. And you know what's funny is that your hate, it exposes your fascination about me. But I'm gonna cut it even deeper, okay? So like, why do y'all do this? Like, why do y'all consume content that is not meant for you? Because y'all can't look away. Because y'all secretly wish that y'all could be us, like the people you hate watching but still consume like our content. Like, y'all are threatened by the fact that you exist as you are. One thing about people like that is that they don't hate watch people that they don't care about. Nobody spends time on something they think is irrelevant, okay? So if you're here, pressed and typing, congratulations, you care. Oh, yeah, you're exposing yourself. And this is the part I want my audience to learn from me. Listen, stop wasting your energy on things that's not meant for you, okay? If someone's vibe doesn't align with you, unfollow. If content annoys you, scroll. If a creator triggers you, mute them or block them. Do you know how much peace you would save yourself if you just, stopped consuming things you don't vibe with? Because when you keep watching, you're not just wasting your time, you're feeding your bitterness. And you know what? One thing about bitter people is that they never win. Okay? Like, I say this all the time. Projection is loud. When someone comes in my page spewing nonsense, I know it's not about me. It's about them. It's about the part of themselves that, they hate that I reflect back. It's about, the jealousy that they can't admit, so they dress it up as criticism. And honestly, I let them talk. I just let them, because whether you love me or hate me, you're still obsessed with me. And either way, I win. Yeah. But here's what I want to slap into people's heads, okay? If something is not for you, leave it alone. Because not everything is meant for you, okay? Not every space needs your approval. Not every opinion needs your input. And when you try to force yourself into spaces that were not designed for you, you just expose how insecure and desperate you are. This is why I say, stop watching content that's not meant for you. Stop forcing yourself to consume people who trigger you. Stop pretending you're above it when you're actually glued to it. Because all you're doing is wasting your life, and all I'm doing is thriving off your views. And you know what's funny about people who hate watch is that they don't even realize how much they're exposing themselves. Like, babes, you're not hurting me by commenting on every single video. You're not teaching me a lesson either. You're not knocking me down. What you're really doing is telling the world I can't stop watching her. Yeah, that's what you're telling the world. You're showing your obsession in 4K. Like, honestly, you're confessing. You're without saying it out loud. That's the truth. And that I've got you hooked. And that's the psychology of it. People hate watch because they can't look away. And why can't they look away? It's because, something about me pokes at something inside of them that they can't face. Maybe it's jealousy. They see my confidence, my beauty, my audacity, and it reminds them of everything they wish they had but do not. Yeah. Maybe it's projection. They accuse me of being arrogant or entitled because deep down, they wish they could own themselves like I do. Maybe it's fear. Fear of what it would mean if they actually admitted they admire me. So instead, they wrap it in hate. But hate is just envy and drag. That's the tea. You know what? It's actually kind of sad because imagine wasting your life consuming content you claim to despise. Imagine giving your energy, your attention, your time, the most valuable resources you have to someone you supposedly do not like. That's not hate, that's addiction. Okay? That is obsession. That's being a fan without the courage to admit that you're a fan. And that's why I say my haters are just confused supporters. They're in denial about the fact that I've got them pressed, gagged, and glued to my every move. Okay? But here's the lesson for everyone listening. If you're watching content that is not meant for you, stop. Because you're wasting your life, okay? Every second you spend hate watching someone you don't vibe with is a second you could have spent building yourself up. It's a second that you could have spent learning, creating, glowing, but instead you're sitting in bitterness, feeding your own insecurities. Hate watching does not hurt the creator. It hurts you because all it does is that it reinforces the parts of yourself you're already insecure about. That's the psychology of it. Again, people don't hate watch strangers. They hate watch mirrors. They hate watch people who trigger the parts of themselves they cannot stand. When someone says, I can't stand her confidence, what they're really saying is that I wish I had that confidence. When they say she's so full of herself, what they're really saying is, I wish I could love myself like that. When they say she's too much, what they are really saying is that I'm scared of being enough. And that's why I will never, ever shrink to make people comfortable. Because the more I shine, the more I trigger. And the more I trigger, the more people are forced to face themselves. Some of them will get mad, but some of them will wake the fuck up. And honestly, I'd rather be hated for being myself than loved for being silent. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the flip because this is where I turn the knife, okay? A lot of my haters end up as my fans. Like, I have a lot of converts already. You know why? Because the same obsession that fuels their hate is the same obsession that keeps them watching. And you know what? Eventually, when the bitterness wears off, they will realize that, damn, she's real. Damn, she's saying the shit nobody else will say. Damn, I can actually learn from her. Damn, she's really that beautiful. That's the fucking conversion. That's how you turn haters into supporters, by being so undeniably authentic. They can't help but respect it over time. Like, trust me, it's happened to me already a lot of times. People who used to leave nasty comments on my videos now DM me saying, I actually respect you now, or I really find you pretty. I was just joking. I'm sorry. Or you were right. I needed to hear that. That's why I don't block everyone who hates. Some of them are just future fans in disguise. They're fighting me because they're fighting themselves. And eventually, when they're done fighting, they will realize I was the voice they needed. Okay, so here's what I want everyone to take away. Listen, stop wasting your time on content that does not serve you, okay? If someone's energy is not for you, move on. If a creator does not align with your values, scroll past. If someone's words trigger you, ask yourself why. Because spending your life in someone else's comment section typing essays about how much you hate them, it only makes you look pressed. And pressed people never glow. But if you can take a step back, if you can admit, okay, maybe this person triggers me because they're living in a way I wish I could, then boom, bitch, that's when you grow. That's when hate turns into admiration. That's when jealousy turns into inspiration. And that's the real glow up, turning bitterness into fuel. Okay? So yeah, keep hate watching if you want, but just know that you're not hurting me, okay? You're not exposing me, you're not ruining my brand, you're only exposing yourself. You're only feeding my algorithm. You're only proving how magnetic I am. And honestly, I actually love it because whether you hate me or love me, you're still watching me. And babes, that's power. That's power. And you know what? At some point, you've got to ask yourself, why are you still watching something that clearly is not for you? Why are you glued to a creator that you claim you cannot stand? Why are you investing your time, the one thing that you will never ever get back, into energy that does not even serve you? Because if we're being brutally honest here, that's just not obsession, okay? That's self harm. That's you cutting yourself open with content you already know will trigger you. And here's the real gag, okay? People love to scream, protect your peace, but then they fucking sit there marinating in content that does the opposite. Like, do you get that? You hate me, but you can't stop clicking me. You roll your eyes, but you don't scroll away. You think I'm arrogant, entitled, whatever, but you replay the video. Analyze the tone, screenshot the caption, dissect it with your little group chat. Babe, that's not freaking hate. That's ritual. That's obsession. And the funniest part is that I did not even ask for your attention. You volunteered it. Okay? I always say this. Not everything is meant for everyone, and that's okay. I always say that, okay? Even on my live streams. And that's okay. We're not supposed to resonate with every voice, every vibe, every perspective. But the mature thing to do when something is not meant for you is to keep moving, scroll, exit, and follow, block. But no, a lot of people choose to stay. A lot of people choose to consume, choose to spiral. And in doing that, they reveal the truth. They do not want peace. They want drama. Like, they don't want clarity. They want chaos. They don't want to unfollow because deep down, they are addicted to me. Like, but let me flip it into the lesson, okay? This is the lesson again because this is where I need my audience to, wake up. Stop watching content that it's not for you. That is not for you. Stop wasting your brain cells on people who don't align with your goals, your energy, your vibe, because every minute you spend on something irrelevant, you're starving your own growth. Okay? You're feeding a beast that's not even yours. Like, and then you wonder why you're drained and inspired and bitter. Like, babes, hate watching does not just poison creators. It poisons the watchers first. Yeah, it poisons y'all first. So if you really want to grow, curate your feed. Babes, like, follow the people who light you up. Watch the content that inspires you. Fill your head with voices that challenge you in a way that builds you, not in a way that drains you. Because you know what's the truth? Is that your input shapes your output. If you're consuming garbage, your mindset will rot. If you're consuming envy, you will project envy. But if you're consuming power, if you're consuming confidence, if you're consuming wisdom, that's the energy you will start to radiate. And this is why I will never shrink for my haters. Trust me, or for my fans even. Because the ones who are meant for me, they get fed here. They leave my content full, energized, inspired, laughing, happy, even if they're a little triggered. And the ones who are not meant for me, they fucking choke, they gag, I let them, they spiral, but that's not my problem. That's self-selection, okay? That's life separating who's ready to eat from who's content with starving. Like the irony is that a lot of haters don't even realize that they've learned from me. Like, trust me, they will keep watching, keep hating, keep mocking, and months later, I'll see them parroting the same truths that I said, adopting the same confidence they swore they despised. And that's the conversion. That's when the hate turns into influence. And that's why I say, whether you love me or hate me, you will still leave with something. And either way, I win. But let me drop the final slap, okay? Because I know that y'all need it. Y'all need this. Stop wasting your life consuming things that are not for you, okay? If someone's content triggers you in a way that makes you ugly, stop watching. If you can't stand someone, mute them. If you disagree with everything they say, why are you here? Because every second you spend on what's not meant for you is a second you steal from what is meant for you. Like, and for my haters specifically, girl, babes, I don't mind you being here. Stay mad, stay obsessed, stay pressed, but just know that your hate is proof of my relevance. Your obsession is proof of my magnetism, and the longer you keep watching me, you admit that deep down, you cannot escape me. And I love that for me. So, to everyone listening, curate your life like you curate your feed, okay? Stop swallowing what makes you sick. Stop consuming what does not feed you, okay? Because closed mouths do not get fed. This is from the previous episode. But stuffed mouths get poisoned. Yeah. And I refuse to let poison take me down. So should you, okay? And at the end of the day, you don't need to like me, okay? You don't need to agree with me. You don't even need to respect me. But what you cannot do is ignore me. And that's power. That's the lesson. And that's why I will always be fed. While the ones watching content that is not meant for them will always stay starving. So yeah, that's all for this latest episode. Girl, I just woke up from my nap. Anyways, my socials are in the description box below. My link tree is also there. Follow me, subscribe, and support me because why not? And if you learned something from this video, share this to your friends and family. Okay? And I'll see you guys on the next one.